So thank y'all for indulging us. But Sir Daniel, we on this show, so since Q Points has started, we have been intentional about honoring our folks whenever they get recognized for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because despite what people may think, right? When our folks have made that impact and are able to be recognized for making that impact over the course of their career, that's super freaking dope. Like, of all of the honors, it's just an amazing one to get. Like, you're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And we had some things happen this week.
We did. So first and foremost, shout out to Andre and to Big Boy. Outkast has been officially inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is it makes sense. Complete sense. It's such an honor for Atlanta. It's such an honor for hip hop, specifically Southern hip hop. And I couldn't be prouder to have been living here in this city for the past 30 plus years. I can't be prouder of those two young men, you know, riding that 85, 84 to Lithonia, that MARTA bus to, you know, to the Dungeon Studios, and to come out of that to becoming major superstars. Back, kind of calling back to the previous topic, Jay Rayward and I were noticing again another video, Hey Ya, from the Speaker Box Love Below album, which is really what pushed them over the top.
Yeah.
That video, as crossover as it was, who was in that? Who was on stage with Andre?
Black women.
Who was in the audience screaming for Andre? Shaking it like a Polaroid picture. Very intentional. They, it have to give it up to them. They were very intentional about that, and because they know where their bread is buttered, for sure.
Absolutely, and just to really just love on Outkast for a quick second. The way that they shifted the music world in a little over a decade. So the last Outkast album, 2006. They came to us in 94. 2006 was their last record. So that's 12 years. In 12 years, these men literally put an entire region of hip hop on the map and literally made the South, everybody, when Andre said on that Source stage, the South has something to say, he meant it. And so in 12 years, they literally shifted everything. I remember hearing those Outkast singles in consecutive records through the years and being like, my God, how would you even come up with that? You know what I mean? So they deserve it. And they pushed to create something that was unique and squarely hip hop, but also uniquely them and uniquely Atlanta and funky, the funkiest shit we'll ever hear. And so they deserve every bit of this.
They do. And you mentioned a very important moment in time, the Source Awards, where Andre famously said the South got something to say. Now, prior to him saying that, the announcement of the nominees were read off by three young ladies from Queens and their homeboy from Queens. And the funny thing about it, J. Ray, is like, so Salt-N-Pepa and Spinderella, well, two from Queens, one from Brooklyn, were presenting the award for Best New Artist. And Outkast was nominated.
Yeah.
And so for context, this particular Source Awards was during the height of the East Coast West Coast beef. So things were things were heightened, feelings were heightened. People, there was a lot of tension in the air. Even there at the award show, people, people couldn't sit next to each other. It was really a big deal, and it was really kind of sad when you think and look back at it. But Salt-N-Pepa, who are squarely New York girls, who, you know, originated the art, first female MCs to go platinum as a group, had done quite a few things in the culture, and really, really, I guess, had a love for some of the other artists that were nominated in that category. And when they opened that envelope and they saw it was them two dusty boys from Atlanta, Georgia, the way they read their names off, it was so palpable. And it was just a moment where I wondered, J. Ray, if Salt-N-Pepa and Spinderella look back at that moment where they announced Outkast's name with very little pep, with very little enthusiasm. They just sounded disgusted, like, oh, and the winner is Outkast. I wonder if they think about that moment, especially now that they too are in the same class with Outkast as Hall of Fame inductees.
Yeah.
It's so wild to me. It's like, imagine y'all crossing paths in that moment, and that moment of time having such an impact on the culture. And here you are, one of the few, really one of the only female rap groups to ever make like a really serious global impact. And these two guys from Atlanta, here you are in the same class, the same Hall of Fame class of 2025. Man, gotta do some things. The universe is going to do some things and teach you all a lesson.
The universe is going to teach you a lesson because, Sir Daniel, when we really break it down, Andre knew what was next, and he said it. Salt-N-Pepa didn't know what was next because Outkast was on the upswing. They were on the downswing because 2 years later, they were going to drop their final album, and I guarantee they would not have ever imagined that was going to be the thing, right? 2 years later was going to be the end for their commercial career.
And then they went out kind of bad. They went out sad. And this is coming from a diehard Salt-N-Pepa fan. Please go back and look at the show where we rank Salt-N-Pepa albums.
Yeah, that's a fun show. I love that.
That's a fun show. That last album,
I liked Brand New.
I absolutely did not like Brand New. And so please go back and revisit that album because we really do love Salt-N-Pepa. And y'all have heard me tell the stories. I almost gave a friend a concussion by trying to recreate dances from the Shake Your Thing video.
That's on Instagram, y'all. Go watch that.
Please go watch that. Salt-N-Pepa means a lot to me. They mean a lot to me. They meant a lot to my growing up. They were there for, at graduation. They were there for all the parties and everything. And, I know some people feel there's a generation of people that, only know them for one song. And I get that. But they really have a hip hop discography that cannot be rivaled by anybody else. Again, there are a handful of female rap groups that came and left. Look at the City Girls. The City Girls barely lasted 3 albums and they're brand new. Salt-N-Pepa, Salt-N-Pepa went through a few decades. And now they get to bask in the glory of the groundwork that they've laid. And they deserve it. They really do deserve it. And I'm so happy that Spinderella is included, J. Ray, in everything.
If they didn't put them 3, as soon as I saw the picture, I'm sure they had to have it like, no, it's definitely Salt-N-Pepa and Spinderella. Like, we're not gonna do that. When I saw the picture, I was like, yes, this is what you do. They just listen, those three women absolutely deserve it. They have a boatload of hits. They literally just opened so many doors for what was possible commercially for hip hop, period.
Period. Absolutely. And they're Grammy winners.
And they're Grammy
Multiple
winners.
Grammy winners. So there truly is not a lot of people in hip hop that can say that.
Yep.
So, like it or love it, they stand out above the rest and they are going to be celebrated. And I'm super happy. I don't know. Do we want a performance, J Ray? Because last year we were disappointed by
Mary.
a performance.
I'm going to just say it. And she has proven me right every time. For those of you, I actually do want Dre and Big Boy to perform. I want to see that.
That would shut everything down.
Yeah. I want to see that.
I think we can light a few candles. We can charge our crystals in the moonlight. Let's go to
in
church.
the new blue moon or whatever, the new blue sun.
Go to church and pay your tithes, and maybe, just maybe, we can get a performance from
They'll get
Andre
on stage, but I don't know if they'll perform.
Yeah, because who was that last year that the main person came out last? Oh no, I'm thinking about Sly Stone. When they were inducted into the Hall of Fame.
And they didn't even know he was there.
They didn't know he was there until the very last moment. He kind of popped out like, "Hey guys,
hey y'all, thank you," and then he walked off stage, and that was it.
He walked off. I don't know. Salt-N-Pepa tributes.
Yeah.
Now
who should do it? This is an aside. Y'all, thank y'all for hanging out. But I'm curious, Sir Daniel, off the cuff, do you have anybody you would want to see?
It's got to be their peers, because I don't think any of the contemporaries can do it. It's got to be somebody from their class. It's got to be a Latifah, a Moni Love, a Light, a Yo-Yo. You know, it's got to be that class.
Yep.
The younger ones, I don't think they could pull it off. I really don't. Who we got? We don't even have the city girls to try and do "I'll Take Your Man."
No, they would. It would have to be like a hodgepodge of the newbies. But are there any? No, because DJing is not even a part of hip hop, like commercial hip hop anymore. So none of these rappers have like DJs that, unless when they have them on tour, but not as part of like a group. This is interesting. Y'all let us know. Who do y'all want to see? Kyriakos, that's interesting. Kyriakos.
Yeah. Like Tiana, so Tiana Taylor did rip that performance of Lil' Kim. I think she did No Time, if I'm not mistaken. When Lil' Kim was being honored, and Tiana Taylor did that. So yeah, Tiana Taylor doing the Salt-N-Pepa, it could happen.
Okay.
But see, you got to reach out to outside of hip hop, to performers, because we don't have any performers in hip hop anymore.
Yeah, that's real. I was talking to Sidebar. She won't do it because she's on tour, but I was talking to Adrian of Adrian's Playlist of Conversations this week. Shout out to Adrian. And, the Billboard 25 women, hip hop, whatever. And he said something interesting. He was like, Beyonce wasn't on that list. And I was like, that is interesting because Beyonce be rapping. Beyonce really does be rapping. Now, Beyonce getting on stage doing the Salt-N-Pepa tribute alongside like a Tiana Taylor and like, that would be nuts.
That would be crazy.
That would be nuts.
That would clear everybody and everybody else's performances for the night.
Yeah.
Beyonce
Baby
came out to pay tribute to Salt-N-Pepa. You wouldn't be able to tell Salt-N-Pepa anything. Like their asking fee for tours would be outrageous after that.